Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. My name is 𝗘𝗺𝗏𝗂𝗂𝗂. I am your host with the most. I am here with the Frequency of Abundance group, coming to you 7 days a week, Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern, captivating talks on a myriad of subjects, including today. On the weekend, I'll let you sleep in a little bit, so come at me at around 1 in the afternoon. And if you'd like to come and play with us, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. This is your little welcoming message. Welcome, welcome. Now, because it's an interactive session, we absolutely would love to get a little bit of a Q&A, some comments, some likes, some shares, show some love, give some thumbs up, give us a chance to come out and help out more people. So here's where we're coming from. Now, if you want, I'm going to put some contact information in the chat so I can chit-chat with you and we don't get bothered. All right, Frequency of Abundance group, that is directly over on LinkedIn. I put the link in the chat for LinkedIn. And so you can click on that, or you could just literally search the Frequency of Abundance, go to groups on LinkedIn, boom, you're there. That's our free group. You'll get access to all the talks. The cool part is we also have a small private paid group. It's tens of dollars a month. That's not a big deal, but the cool part is it's got networking, it's got group coaching, it's got community building, it's got the tide raises all boats. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So if you're at that level and that could help you, reach out to me. You got my contact in the chat. Join us at the Frequency of Abundance. Throw in some likes, comments, shares. Send some love so we know that everything's going good. And let's get started on today, on a motivational Monday. This one's going to be fun because it hits close to the heart and I get to step back a step. So instead of all this incredibly detailed, organized, systematic way for you to rip performance apart and rebuild it directly for yourself, whether we're talking peak performance, personal performance, whether we're talking about you increasing the performance of your teams, relationships, that's what we usually focus on. Those techniques and tactics and ways to improve yourself, working on your inner development, working on your outer development, and really making sure that you're stepping forward and being the best you can be, always. So in that context, the wonderful people over at Allura Creative Agency are the ones that proudly present the Frequency of Abundance group. They're the sponsor. They're the reason that we can do all this fun stuff. And so today, being the founder and head guy, chief cook and bottle washer over at Allura, I thought I'd take a couple minutes, give you a behind the scenes, little bit of a curtain pull, and really try to express where we're coming from and here's why we're here. So if you don't know me, I'll give you a 30-second background. I've been an elite peak performer over my entire life. Been in martial arts for more than 40 years. Was ranked number 2 in Alberta in power tumbling when I was 15. Won Kiwanis Music Festival when I was 12 as a concert pianist. So I've been busy doing those things ever since I was a kid. And as a person who's been an elite energy coach for the last 30 years, I've been, goodness, probably about 15,000 people now have come through my hands in that capacity, wearing that hat. And I'm blessed enough, I wrote a couple best-selling books and really was in a position of happiness and strength before the pandemic hit. And then had to take my offline real-life coaching to online, and that was horrible. So I joke and was like, felt like a used car salesman. Everything that I was doing was wrong. Felt like the marketing was 2 weeks old and that's why it wasn't working. And I don't know what this week's marketing is supposed to be. I felt dumb that I couldn't get the technology to work. MailChimp and Squarespace couldn't connect and stay connected for more than 20 minutes at a time. So there was so much annoyance going on, and I took it and internalized a lot of it. Paid thousands of dollars to fake gurus, just the whole process. And if you've been online for any number of years, this is now year 5 for us, and you don't have one of those stories, there's a reason, right? Like they say that, if you have stories of hard luck where you got taken advantage of and somebody was a jerk to you, that's pretty much par for the course for most of us. If you don't have one of those stories, that's because nicely you're the jerk. So you are the people stories. Now, I'm pretending and I'm hoping that's not true for you. So let's take a look at where some of that internal mythos, those mysteries, those incredible origin stories, where your genesis is coming from, and how that can come about. We're looking at people who do images, re-images, brands, rebrands, constantly trying to explore themselves and deepen their understanding and their awareness of who they are, which is phenomenal. But that same amount of energy, if you can focus it on your client and really drill down their avatar, who do they serve? How do they serve them? Then you can start helping with some strategy. Then you can start really seeing where they play, how they get to go and do that. So in our world, I opened up the Essential Academy back in June 2020. And we started off as a not-for-profit, private invitation-only educational community. And we were blessed enough to have, I think we were up at about 500 members in the private educational community. So we were having instructors, about 100 of them, about 400 students, coaches, healers, subject matter experts, professionals from all over the world. And we were blessed as a not-for-profit. We must have donated more than $632,000 just in scholarships, fundraisers over the past years, and tons of different supporting causes. Like we did a huge fundraiser and a gala. It was 7 hours recorded for the Teen Suicide Prevention Society, as well as other international nonprofits and such that we've been blessed to work with. So in that context, we started knowing that the tide raises all boats. We started really focusing on where there's more ways to play and see more impact. And so we started doing networking events. And goodness, up at around 2-3 dozen. You start going to 2, 3, 4 networking events every day. You start learning how to present yourself properly. The 5-second, 10-second, 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute pitch, because God knows every room you go to is going to be different. If you agree and if you've gone networking, and it's insane how many different formats everybody wants you to memorize your little pitch in. Give a thumbs up, give a hands, give some love. Let me know that you're listening and feeling that. Now, in that, I wanted to really, really lean a bit, because that's where the whole purpose of Allura came from. We had, I think, 89 courses, 29 categories, and the problem is that after a couple of years, the pandemic kind of shaped online and online education and course creation and all that stuff, and being a coach, and how popular it was. And so it really turned it around that at one point, most people online were still trying to keep the lights on and the doors open. Even though there was this brave front that, I'm a wonderful coach for decades and I know what I'm doing and I make lots of money and on and on and on. And the pandemic was very scary because we all kind of got that playing field level set for everybody. But certain superstars keep rising up. And so you'll notice the people that focused less on their brand and less on, who they were, and much more focusing on who their client was, were able to really, really sing that song to them. So in that scope, we started wondering, where could we get more impact and convert more of these eyes, these ears, this attention that we have? How do we do more of that? And so the Essential Academy transformed into a Allura creative agency. And for us, we're a public relations firm. So we'll do several different things to increase your brand's visibility, your brand's credibility. We'll reach out to a larger, wider target audience and introduce you so you don't have to introduce yourself, and introduce your offer so you don't sound like you're pitching. And those two things usually make a world of difference, especially if you're looking and playing at a higher level. So where Allura comes in, we blow a dog whistle to your target audience. If you're looking for C-suite executives, leaders, founders, owners, if that's your target audience, we hunt those whales for you. And the way that we do it, as far as I've seen, is rather unique. So we notice that when you're in that scope of things, we want to use a different approach. We're dedicated to empowering coaches, healers, experts. We're expanding their online presence. We're connecting them with their ideal clients in an ideal setting. So the mission is to reduce friction in your business operations, eliminating bottlenecks in areas like technology and marketing and sales, so you can focus on what you do best. In our approach, We look at attract. So we'll conduct LinkedIn profile audits, make sure that you're up to snuff and that your brand is proper. We'll have strategy sessions to help you clearly define your ultimate client avatar. Again, who do you serve? How do you serve them? And really reverse engineer that message so we can blow a dog whistle to them. So only they hear and go, oh my goodness, that's just for me. And that is the most powerful kind of messaging. Especially when at the end of that, there ain't no, and buy this. It's just, oh, okay, wow, all on its own. That's what we use to attract. To engage, we'll go through custom created messaging. We'll invite your ideal client to an exclusive, invitation-only event. It's going to foster meaningful conversations because there's going to be a handful, maybe 2 handfuls of people there. It's not a networking room. It's not a, I need 30, 40, 50 people to show up. I need 3, 4, 5 people. Then the conversations get deep. 6, 7, 8, 9 people, wonderful. Any more and people stop losing the ability to talk. And the cool part is when you're dealing with whales and the C-suite and those guys, they like to talk. They like to be heard. They have a little bit of ego. So the way that we make sure that we play, we will have a strategy session. We will figure out your LinkedIn audit. We will take care of all of your brand and the way that you look. We'll get you a proper landing page, a professional video that showcases you. And then ultimately, we'll want to bring them to an event. We'll want to bring them to an exclusive, invitation-only executive event where a handful of other people just like them are coming, where I co-host it to make sure that you're not standing there doing all the talking. So I'll introduce you. I'll introduce your offer. I'll be the bulldog, so if somebody talks too loud or too long, I'll make sure that we can quiet that down. And what you find are these beautiful, curated conversations. That's why we ask the executives at the end to, take 30 seconds, give a minute, and just share. Was it worth your time? An hour of your space and whatnot? And that's where the video testimonials come from. That unequivocally, yes, very, very much so, because nobody's pitching them. Nobody's selling or telling them. We're opening conversations. We're talking about high-end topics that executives care about and the format. So we're looking at symposiums, like the Greek word, a gathering of intelligentsia to, share wine and ideas. And in that context, that's where we have tequilas and tech talks. We have leadership roundtable series. We have financial fireside chats. We have wonderful health, wealth, and prosperity forums. So depending on who your audience is, we create an event that they would be absolutely delighted to come to. Now, that's the third part, delight. So first we're looking at attracting, doing everything on LinkedIn to make sure we got those strategy sessions, that your avatar's nailed, and that the messaging reaches that right audience. We're engaging them, and these properly curated messaging, inviting them to these exclusive invitation-only events where they can foster meaningful conversations. Now we delight them. We create experiences that are going to leave these prospective clients feeling honored and eager to engage further. That's the whole point. During one of our events, you speak maybe 10% of the time, I speak 20% of the time. The rest is them. They're speaking 70% of the time. So it's absolutely interesting that they know that they've been held and heard and that nobody's pitched them. I'll be able to pull back in you and be like, oh yeah, Jim, that's a great idea. I remember we were talking the other day. Didn't you have a client that something like that happened? And so having someone set you up for those kinds of things. Or, oh, that's right, Danielle. Weren't there 3 myths that you wanted to debunk? Let's go one at a time, bring that out to the group. And treating executives like executives, letting them leave with something more than what they came, really honors them. And it makes it so much more human and natural to then have them follow up and have a conversation with you. So the host gets the meetings, the co-host does the busy work and running around and making sure that they get to be the pretty girl at the dance. That's the purpose of myself as a co-host. Now, the fourth and final little quadrant, because it's a cute little triangle, and in the middle, growth. So moving beyond basic funnels and tunnels and elementary crap, you're not in grade 3. We develop ecosystems that support and highlight your unique offerings. So these are going to facilitate sustainable business growth. That's why we also have a community for you. So all of these wonderful talks, they get recorded, they get repurposed, they get snippets sent out, daily social media posts for you. That's nice. And we keep inviting more people to these wonderful events. And then we bring you over onto the Frequency of Abundance and have you report live, and then we take that recording and now we put it into our free and paid communities. And that's what we do for you. So now we create a LinkedIn group for you. That's going to be your free community, and that's where you can post. I post every day. You can post once a week, once a month, whatever you like. Obviously, the more the merrier. And while you're posting in that community, everything that goes in there also goes into your paid community. We're built out on Go High Level on the back end, and so we'll be able to create a wonderful course-rich community for you that you can now have as a paid community. And so you can charge people to come and join you, get some coaching, get some group work, get some support and community building. So all of that is a beautiful little world that we play in. That's the little ecosystem we make, from reaching out to your exclusive executives and making sure that they have a personalized message, to an incredible co-hosted event, to daily social media posts and free and paid communities, and making sure that ever more support as we go forward. You never know. We might have online retreats. We might have incredible new versions of events coming up in 2025. This is season 2 for the Frequency of Abundance. So there's so much more in store. Now, reach out, say hi, grab a time. My contact information is in the chat. Love to say hello. Love to hear where you're coming from. If you're open and honest and courageous enough and you want to share some challenges that you might be having, either offline and we can do it live, or we could go offline and have personal respect and set a safe place for you. It's no problem. If you'd like to come and be interviewed and share your message and your love and your truth and have that blasted out to the interwebs, I've got about 15,000 eyes on us at all times. So I'm blessed enough to have that kind of a connection through 10,000 on LinkedIn, 5,000 on Facebook, and a few other eyes plus yours. So when you come on here, we'll go through Restream and you'll bring your eyes and your teams and we'll add it to our eyes. And there'll be so much wider audience looking at what you do. And I think that'll be the right way to go. So let me know if there's something I can do to help. Reach out to me in any way, shape, or form. Let me know if you wanted to put on your own amazing events, have your own leadership roundtable series. Because one way or another, we do believe that the boat in that floating boat looks around and sees the other boats, and then this giant wave comes, and yes, the tide raises all boats. So we can all go together. We don't have to be competitive. We can be cooperative. And that is going to be so powerful. So cooperation over competition for 2025. Looking forward to saying hi. Looking forward to saying more. And don't forget to stay tuned, because every day this week, we've got wonderful new talks. Now, today, this was Allure Creative Agency and how we empower coaches and healers. So this is what we do for transformational growth. Reach out if you like. Tuesday, Triumphant Tuesday, Overcoming Challenges, Lessons from Elite Athletes. Wednesday, the role of accountability in personal growth. And what's Winning Wednesdays. Thursdays, whoop, whoop, whoop. We got Triumphant Thursdays, transformational tools for lasting change. These are coming up. And this Fearless Friday in a couple days, can you believe how quick? Navigating the intersection of time and energy. That's going to be a fun one and close to my heart, because most people know you can't get more time, but you can get more energy. And even if you had all the time in the world and no energy, how productive are you going to be? What do you think you're going to get done? Not a lot. Saturday, Soaring Saturday. I'm sorry, it's Successful Saturday. We'll give you the power of visualizing and the power of visualization in achieving success. And rounding out the week on the beautiful Soaring Sunday, where we'll give you a chance to reconnect mind, body, and soul, we have the opportunity, mindfulness practices for daily life. So that this entire week is about you. This whole season is about getting back to basics, getting into the mix, feeling good, feeling positive, really having those meaningful connections. Anything I can do to help, reach out to me. Love to say hi. See you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the 𝗘𝗺𝗏𝗂𝗂, host for the Frequency of Abundance group, 7 days a week, 10 a.m. Eastern. Come join us.